You guys will love this. You're in the house, writing everything up. You ask them the question about other coverage again. We're getting back into that. And you say, you have no other coverage. Now, we're thinking about getting some life insurance. Great. They go, do you know anybody that does that? I said, yeah, we got a couple companies we can talk about. Let's get this one in place first. Come back out and we'll see. We'll do a whole plan for you. How about that? Do it all, man.
At the end of a month or a quarter, you look at your team's numbers and think, as an agency manager, how could we increase our average sale by, what other questions could we ask in a moment?
Yeah, if it's really low, maybe on an individual person, but as a team, we're pretty much at the $1,000 mark right now. I mean, we're, unless you're, of course, Carly, we don't even know, I mean, her numbers are through the roof. I mean, her average is huge. $220 a month. Where are you finding these people? Yeah, you know, pretty much, yeah, it'd be more on an individual basis than as a team.
Good.
Pay structure for appointment setters, you pay hourly by appointment?
I pay by appointment, different per appointment sold. Our pay structure is $15 for every appointment set, $25 for every sold. If you do it off of a TLP, I pay $50. If I sell it, not if I sit it. If I sit it, it's nothing. Sell it to $50. I think that if you had some of the questions that if I were in y'all's position, that I would be asking like Dean and some of these other guys is like, what is the turning point? Because I think a lot of times that we lose sales in the house because we make it make sense to them. Okay, like it's a logical decision for them to be able to do it. I mean, this is just logical. But folks, people will think about logic all day long. Okay. I think that what are some of the, some questions that may be good questions are like, what kind of emotional questions that Bill talked about that trigger that type of emotion? Like, I mean, seriously, like how many of y'all, I mean, are really talking about like telling the client that you love your spouse? You know what I mean? Like, I never heard a man talk like that about his wife before. I mean, those are some of the questions that if I were you that I'd be asking, like, how do you invoke that emotion? Bill talked about one way about doing it, but I guarantee if you ask every single one of us up here, it is not the logic of the sale, it is the emotion behind that sale.
Yep.
That not only keeps that client on the books, okay, but it allows them to make that sale to originally begin with. Yep. So if I were you, I'd ask that question, but that's just...
Hey Mike, what is the emotional question?
That is a good question, Doug. Dean, can you help this man out?
Dean Ellis, Director, Macon City Theater. Michael, good to see you. You know, if you ask the question, and I'll ask this right away, when I get in the house, it's like, I'm really not there to be their friend, you know, because we ain't going to be friends, they will cover their family, but first thing I'll do is I'll show them the lead, and I'll be like, is that your signature? Yeah, it is. And I'm thinking, all right, let me ask you a quick question. Well, why did you fill this thing out? And everybody is going to tell you, well, I just either wanted a price, or if I die, I want my house paid off. You know, I never figured that out before. You know, I guess you're right, but I'll say, well, let me think about this for a minute. And I've already thought about this before I go in the house. I'm looking at that lead and I'm going, they're like 45 years old, and then we've asked them, yeah, they have 2 kids. The kids are 11 and 8. And I'm thinking, all right, now I'm thinking to myself, what's going to happen if he dies? Or what's going to happen if she dies? What if she's the one that works and he's the one, you know, Mr. Mom or something like that? So I'm playing out some scenarios in my head. So now when I'm sitting in front of them, I'm starting to ask them questions. And I'm thinking, you know, you both work? You know, oh, okay. And then how old are kids? You know, so I'm starting to talk about them getting into emotion a little bit. Like, all right, so let me see if I get this straight. And I'll do it just like this. I'll be like, give me a second. I'm just thinking. Let me get this straight. Like, all right. So what you're telling me, if you die tonight of a heart attack, your wife doesn't have enough money to pay the mortgage off. In about 3 weeks, the bank's going to be knocking on the door, or 3 months, I mean, you know, and they're going to start foreclosure. Repo man's going to be in the driveway. Where are you going to live? Where's the wife going to live with the kids? Grandma got an apartment somewhere, or I might start talking about something like, do you think your kids want to stay in the same school system? Yeah, I figured they probably would. Yeah, I got it now. I'm starting to get it. And that's what I'll tell them. I get it, you know. And so I'm really going down that emotion. And I'm doing that pretty much right away. You know, and when I start to see the drool like coming out of their mouth, and they're starting to think, you know, how much is this? Because I obviously need this, you know. Then like price is not an issue at all. I mean, it's just like, here's what it costs. And I will give them a couple options, and I like giving a real high one. I never really go above the mortgage, so it's like an $80,000 mortgage. And by the way, when I see a lead that's an $80,000 mortgage, I'm like, that's a good lead. When I see when it's a $676,000 mortgage, I'm like, probably got $6 million in life insurance or something, but I still go to it, because I'm talking about annuities and stuff. But the real key to this whole thing is I'm looking for the emotion, and sometimes I'm not really going to draw it out of them. Sometimes I got to tell them what the emotion is. I've heard people say you got to back up the hearse, let them smell the roses. And I'm like, all right, listen, you've been thinking about this for 74 years now, and what are you going to do if you die? You're going to donate your body to science? Because I heard the local college, they got some kids there that want to put you in a jar of formaldehyde, and they want to start cutting your legs off and something, because they got to figure out, what's inside of you, what made you die, and stuff like that. I mean, that's one of your options. You could do that. Is that what you were going to do, or should we put something in place that we can put you in the ground, have a big party? And then everyone, we can take care of this right now. So I'm like looking for the emotion, and sometimes I'm giving them the emotion. I'm painting the picture for them.
You don't really, you say you get into that right away, you won't build any rapport at all?
No report at all. Not at all.
Because what if you start to be friends with somebody that you don't like?
No, okay.
I mean, is your persistence
at the
good?
end of it, after they've given me a check, I saw you had a Cars Driver magazine. You like cars?
Okay. That's when you do it.
Best
after.
friends,
I do. I take 5 minutes for a report.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, and I'm just saying,
About 5 minutes.
I could have wasted, and it's just a different strategy. Our theory is this: it's like I don't know if I like you yet, because I like people who like their families. And if you're not one of those people, it's like, dadgum, you invited me to the house not to be your friend. You invited me to the house to do business. We know what we're doing at the kitchen table for. We're in here to do a deal here, and we'll if we like each other, that's great. If we don't like each other, we still do business. That's fine too. But I just don't want to waste my time with somebody that I might not like. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you just kind of, instead of building a rapport in the beginning, after they
I
protect
seal
their
the deal
family,
with it.
then you're just doing vice versa.
Yeah, all I do is I seal the deal with it. I don't bait them with it.
Right, okay.
It's like I seal the deal with Forrester's vendor benefits. You know what I mean? I don't bait them with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you take advantage of all the free stuff, it'll pay you premiums. I mean, that's at the end of it, not at the beginning of it. Don't use it as bait. I use it as make sure it sticks on the books.
Okay.
I want to put my name in their phone book, because we're now friends. You have a personal phone book? Under I for insurance guy, or L for life insurance, something like that. That way you don't have to memorize my name. But why don't you put my name in your phone book? That's how okay with that? How about your cell phone? Can you put it in your cell phone?
And that's the last thing that they're remembering of us, okay? Because a lot of people get scared, like I see agents, like when the telephone rings and it's a client, they're scared to answer that telephone. They're like, oh, they're going to cancel. I'm like, well, they're going to cancel because that's what you're thinking in your head. And they will cancel if you never answer that telephone. But it's like, if the last thing you leave is as a friends, okay, not as a business transaction, but the last thing you leave is a friends, then you should have no problem picking up that phone again. And you're like, hey, man, what's up? Oh, I am just furious. Don't be mad at me, man. What did I do wrong? You know what I mean? I will tell you this, that we pick up checks in person and we cancel in person. Those are the only 2 ways to get it. Like, we don't cancel the phone. I don't know what it is. Don't know. I can't do it. Don't know how to do it. But I can come there in person. We can talk about it. What other questions that are out there, like objection questions? Like, anybody get, like, and I don't know if it's just, maybe it's just us at one time got them, but you ever have anybody say that they want to think about it? Is that a question of y'all? What is it that you get to the point, like it makes a logical and emotional decision, but then they just sit there and go, I want to think about it. Does that happen to any of y'all? Is that a question? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah? Anybody want to ask that question?
I have folks tell me, let me think about it. I'll get back. Of course, Roger Straughter, but Jeremy Edwards, some people at Davies agency. They say, I want to think about it. What do I do at that point?
I heard Jordan.
All right. Well, my presentation is a little bit different, where I'm setting it up in the beginning, and just like you guys hit on, the important part of it is hitting that emotional part. So with myself, I'm digging multiple layers. That's what I'm coaching on, and usually when I have a newer person and they're missing sales, it has something to do with that. And I'll say, okay, why did they want this coverage? Why did they fill it out? What's going to happen in this house if somebody's not protected? So, and they'll say, well, I don't know. Or they'll say, maybe it was bad. How bad? What's going to happen there? how long is she going to be able to stay in the house, him or her? What are they going to do at that point? What's their plan? And so, just digging those multiple layers, and not just being like, okay, well, let's talk about the return of premium when it's just somebody saying, yeah, things are going to be bad. Well, how bad? So it's just kind of a combination of those two things. And then so kind of the beginning of mine, I'm setting an expectation where it's like, okay, so what we're going to do right now is not like, could we try or what have you. It's like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find something that, fits your needs, fits your budget, and then we're going to fill out an application to see if you can get this coverage. And there's, there's a lot of takeaways, there's a lot of different things. It's like, okay, what are we thinking about? There's a lot of people that don't get this. We got to see if we can get you approved first. So we're going to find something that fits your needs, fits your budget, and then, fill out an application to see if we can get you approved. Is that fair? Okay. So let me ask you, if something happened in this house, say for instance, your wife passed, what type of situation is that going to put her in? And I would actually ask her, and then she would tell, everybody here, what's going to happen? What's going to happen then? What's going to happen then? Switch it around. What's going to happen in your situation? So we know it's all on the table. Okay, cool. Now let's take a look at some rates and all of that. Get to the end. I have like maybe a think about it once every week with that. I just don't get it a whole lot, because when I'm coming in that strong, I'm going to get that they have an insurance agent or they have, $5 million of coverage. I'm going to get that within the first, 2 minutes. It's going to be right there at that point. We're either going to move from that or not, but I still got the goal. I still got the pricing. I still got all of that information. I haven't even shown them at that point. So that's how I handle it.
I think getting underneath what your question, okay, is like when they say they want to think about what's going on in your head, what are the questions you're asking yourself? You know what they are?
Yeah, when they say, I think about it, the question is, are they worried about price?
Okay.
Is that their issue?
Okay.
Are they worried about what their mate's going to say? Are they like not unified? Is that what they're thinking about?
Okay.
Or are they just trying to postpone sitting down because they know once I sit with them, or we go any further, they know they're going to buy.
Okay. So let me clarify for everybody. Like, are you ready for this? Okay. Like when they say I want to think about it, it only means two things. Either A, they don't like you, or B, it costs too much.
Yep.
Okay? So you sit there and tell the client, Mr. and Mrs. Klein, I understand why you want to think about it. That makes sense to me. That's a logical decision. Okay? But there's only two reasons why you would say that to me is A, you don't like me, or B, I ain't hit your budget yet. So let me ask you a question. It's okay. Do you like me? My opinion's still out on you too, so it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure if we like each other yet. So like, so you do like me, okay? So then immediately, what is it? Since I've already, like, they can't even, like, you can't even give me another objection. You can't right now in your head. You can't even think of another objection besides the price right now, because I've just told you those are the only two things that you can think about. It's either you don't like me or it's the price. Which one is it? Well, I like you, so then it's a price. So if this was $20 a month, would you do it? Yes. Okay, great. So now we got a baseline that we can start writing an application up. Okay. Now it is. Let's find out where the need and the budget both match. Does that make sense? It's only two things. They don't like you, or don't fit your budget. Does that add clarity to it? It's like, now the questions that you got to ask now, you got to go is like, how long are you going to stick around? Like one thing Jordan was talking about is like, I'm going to keep, like, remember how Andy talked about practicing? Like every appointment, I think it's practicing. Like, you might have a different button than what you might have.
Right. And
I'm not trying to say, I'm going to start with this one thing, start with A, you know what I mean, rebuttal. And he don't buy it, okay? So I'm going to B, he ain't buying it. C, ain't buying it. D, E, F, G, H. Dude, I'm going through every single one of them until like, dude, you got something to drink? I'm getting thirsty. I ain't kidding, okay? It's like, when are you going to sit there and care enough about that family? It's like, you got to care about that family for just a little period of time, and that will last them entire lifetime. It's like, all of a sudden, they're going to go like, you serious about this thing, aren't you? Yeah, dadgummit, I am serious about this thing. And when they all of a sudden you start asking those tough questions that Jordan was talking about there, you start asking about, painting that emotional picture, like, hey, Bo, how's it going to be when your wife walks down those steps, like, I don't know, like on Christmas, and you ain't here? They're going to be presents underneath that tree if you ain't around. But what are you going to do? And it's like looking at the stuff in the corner, like looking at like that little baby stroller back there. It's like all of a sudden looking at that and going, dadgummit, I ain't going to leave because that baby don't have a choice of who his parents were. okay? And I'm not gonna let that baby lose. And it's like using this stuff to get fired up and emotionally charged about it. It's like, who's the most important client you sit down with? Or who's the most important client you had? The one that you're in front of. But I'll be late to my next appointment. I don't give a rip. They're not there. They're gonna no-show you. This person you had two people sat down, sit there until they give you a check. And so we call it hunker down. And it's like, they're gonna hunker down until all of a sudden that they realize that you ain't going, okay? You can, I mean, like, it's serious, like, get serious about this thing, and it's amazing. People, when they're done, are gonna come up to you and cry and thank you and say, Michael, I can't believe how stupid I was in the beginning. Because it's like, I mean, it's amazing the transformation that you watch people do. And the first time that, like, you succeed in it, and, like, all of a sudden, like, the person's crying with a tear in their eye, you can be like, dadgummit, I can use that every single time now that I'm sitting inside that client's house. It's like, I don't know, you got a captive audience. It's like, I'm talking to them until somebody leaves the table. It's like, well, when you stop? I don't know, when they're no longer there. You know what I mean? Until they went and got the gun. You know what I mean? Until they got thrown out of the house. You think I'm lying? No, okay? It's like, I'm serious, and I'm not being mean about it, but I'm just caring enough, okay? You know what I mean? Dean had somebody load a gun on you the other day, right there in front of you, right? He sold a couple policies. He's like, I ain't going. You think I'm joking? I'm not, okay? It's like, how many times, I mean, like, so if you haven't had a $5,000 weekend, okay, or a $10,000 weekend, I would ask you, like, how many times have you got thrown out of a house? I guarantee every one of us got thrown out of a house. You get ever thrown out of a house?
I asked to leave.
Darn Skippy, real nice like her too, I bet. You know what I mean? Like, every single one of us, I guarantee you, have been like, literally like, yo, seriously, I'm calling the police if you don't leave, okay? And like, you think we're joking, but we're not, okay? It's like, you don't know the line. Some people are like, well, that's being mean and you're crossing the line. Where is the line? I don't know until you cross it. It's like, you can't figure it out until you cross it. It's like, you can push people a lot farther than what you could possibly ever imagine, and they will thank you for it.
Yeah, I just, he's right on the line there. What I do is I'll just come right out and ask him. You know, I mean, not just what do you want to think about? I don't do it that way. I just ask you straight up, let me ask you a question. Are you going to do this either way? If I leave right now, are you going to do it Thursday when you're telling me to get back to you? Yes or no? In your heart of hearts, you're going to do this either way?
Yeah.
Then why would I come back? I'm here right now. Now, I'm either going to smoke out the real objection, whether it's price or whatever, or we're doing it, you know how many times? I can tell you hundreds of times that's been my close. Just, what are we doing? They're just used to telling salespeople, we'll get back to you in 3 or 4 days. And we'll smoke it out. Then it may be, I got to shop you around. Oh, I love that one. You want to do shopper? Who wants to do the shopper?
I had something to think about first.
But, yeah, good.
Before we just, one quick thing about think about it. I don't let them ask me, I want to think about it. Because what do they do just before they ask that? They either like push away from the table, or they say, well, you know, as soon as they start that stuff and you know it's coming, I interrupt them. I'm like, wait a minute, I'll just think about something here. What you should do is pick something affordable to you. I get them thinking again. Or if they, well, hold on a second. We want to keep the wife in the house, kids in the same school system. Again, mortgages, $86,000. You know, we looked at 2 different companies. Make sure that you get that you purchase this from somebody that you like, that cares about you. Because how many guys like me you want in your house? How many meetings like this you gonna have? You know, I'm stopping them because if I let them put up their dukes, now I gotta wrestle with them. You know, I gotta get them, either I gotta hit them or I gotta pull their dukes down. But if I see them start to go like this, I can go, hold on a second. Let me just think about this. You know, and I'll pause. And
So you think about it. Whoa, hold on a second,
you know what I want you to do? I want you to think about this thing. This is how this thing works, okay? What we're going to do is going to apply for it. It takes about 2 weeks, and you got a 10-day free look. You got like 21 days. We think about this thing. We're reading it to each other, putting it under your pillow, sleeping on it, all this kind of great stuff. And then, man, you're going to have so much time. It's like unbelievable. I can't believe these insurance companies will do this. In the meantime, you're going to be covered. So it's apply for it. You know, I just stop it. Wait before you say it.
Well, one last one real quick is ununified couples. You bring out the emotion with a husband or wife. They're the one who filled out the lead. They want it. They tell you their mate will be there. You get there. And let's say the mate's there, and you try to reiterate the conversation on the phone the night before, you bring out the emotion, why you're here, you show the lead or the request for help, and the other mate is like, no, we don't need this. We don't need another bill. Even though you're trying to bring out the emotion at the table. And one mate clearly wants it, but the other mate is like, no. And then they give you that, well, we'll try to get back later, but evidently she doesn't want it. I had that happen to me 3 times in 1 week, where one of the mates got up and left the room. And it was like left the house. How do you deal with that? That was maybe a bad streak for me, but it does come up. One mate wants it really bad, the other one was like, oh no.
I don't get it that much. I mean, I'd want to sit them down and find out what the heck's going on in the house. I mean, I just want to talk to them.
They are both at the
They're
table,
both at the table, right?
I mean, it's not like you're walking in like one's like doing dishes.
No.
They're both sitting down in front of you.
I have variables. One says, come on in, and one will refuse to come to the table.
Then I refuse to talk to them.
Yeah, it's always
Another
gonna go
one.
there.
Yeah.
I will not talk to them unless both of them are sitting in front of me, right?
Well, like bag doesn't come
go.
off the shoulder until like my bag on my shoulder, it don't come off the
Yeah,
table.
that's right.
I'm not sitting down, bag don't come off the shoulder till like, oh, you married, where's your wife at?
Yep.
Oh, she's sleeping. You think we can get her up?
No way.
I mean, something's gotta happen. I mean, or I'm not even sitting down. They're gonna know that it's not happening.
Right.
Say it on the appointment, and then when you come and that happens, say, I clearly said you both need to be here. I've got you down on a time slot. I've got a busy schedule, but I'm here to help both of you right now. I'm gonna need both of you at the kitchen table. Direct them there. Start taking control right
Well,
now.
you sit them down. You sit here, you sit here.
Yep.
And if one get up and leave, maybe it's something you said, maybe you got bad breath or something.
Right, so then I would go, whoa, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I would go, what are you doing? Did I say something wrong? And I'd get up, and I'd go in the kitchen with him, like, seriously, did I do something wrong? It's like your husband's sitting out there, and I kind of feel it's kind of funny that I'm in the kitchen with you. It's big. I don't want to make him mad. Can we come sit down for a second? And like, she either gonna like tell you the why she don't like you, okay, or just leave. And either way, then you're done. You know what I mean? But it's like, seriously, just get up and like follow the person. Ask them. You know what I mean? It's like seriously, like, why are you doing this? You not like him?
You're sensing it before it's coming. You're seeing it happen, right?
Right.
So why are you letting them go there? You know, it's like, stop it before it happens.
It's the
You
pink
start-
elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
You know,
call
just say,
big guy
hey,
for
you know,
elephant all
wait a
the
minute,
time.
wait a minute. You know, I just want to make sure, you know, I think this is really cool that you two guys love each other so much, that you're thinking about protecting your families like this, or you love your kids so much, or you want to keep, you know, you're going back to the emotion, you know, but you do me a favor. One thing I do not want to be is a source of irritation between the two of you. So keep you guys just like telling each other you love each other, you know, and let's get that out of the way, you know, so, because I don't want to leave this house. And, you know, so you're like, make them start thinking about each other. But don't let them get to the point where they're in that corner. They put themselves in a corner, and now you're trying to drag them out of the corner. You're sensing that it's not going right, so stop it. Stop and just think. Hold on a second. Time out, everybody. Just take a deep breath. I got to think about something for a second. You know, and you're thinking, and come up with something to change the direction of this conversation. All right, because you're leading them down a path to make a good decision. The good decision is, we don't need any coverage. I mean, that's not the good decision, that's not good to say. You know, if they make that decision, you did not help them make a good decision. So you gotta help them make that, lead them down that path of making a good decision to protect their family.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Hey, Bill,
Yeah.
on that shopper tip,
Yeah.
the person says, well, I figured this was about $20-30 a month. I didn't know, I thought I could get more coverage for this amount of money.
Felt wrong.
Where'd you come up with that? I mean, just
Let's say the guy is just saying, I'm shop. You want to do a role play with me? I'll show you exactly how to do it. Who wants to role play with me on it? Shopper. Who's having a tough time with shopper clothes?
I do.
Okay, get up here, Mike. Okay, we're done. I'm getting ready to pull the app out. He's going, no, it's cool. You know, we're just gonna, I'm the kind of guy, I gotta have 3 quotes, gotta go do this. I'm gonna show you 5, but anyway, so, you wanna talk to somebody else, et cetera, and that's where we're at.
Yeah. It's not that I think that you're a bad guy, man. You show me all these companies that are good people. It's just I'm real thorough, man. It's like, I wanna make sure that I got like all my ducks in a row. It's like, I only wanna do this thing one time. I wanna make sure I do it right.
Let me ask you a question, Mike. Do you buy car insurance?
I do.
You do, okay. Take me back to the last time you bought car insurance, and you were shopping, because I'm sure you shop for it, right? Just like you're talking right now. You, of course, you know a lot of companies.
Yeah.
What did you do with your existing policy that you had while you were shopping for new coverage?
Well, I kept it.
Why?
Because it's illegal to drive without coverage.
What if it wasn't illegal?
I mean, I like my cars. If I want to be protected. I mean, I keep my insurance. You guys should get some.
Oh, is your life more important than car?
Children's lives are. Which one do you think is a better one for me to start off with?
You tell me. Which one do you like?
I can afford that one.
Okay. Good. Guys, I like 100% close ratio using that. Just like that. Just like that. Normally what they're going to do is this. This is the big tough guy, right? Here's what the big tough guy does. So I'll do that, and he goes, I know where you're going with this, Bill. Where are you going with it? Well, you're trying to say that, you know, if I'm going to shop, I should have coverage in place. I know what you're saying. I don't know. What do you think? And they'll sit there and go just like him, and then here's what the tough guy will do. Look at his wife. Oh, what do you think, honey?
I'll tell you where most people, like, y'all gonna try that, okay, and you're gonna mess it up.
Yeah,
okay.
you're definitely gonna mess it up first couple times.
And the reason being is you ain't gonna shut up.
Yep.
Okay, it's like he says it and then shuts up, and now I gotta say something else. Now I gotta think of what the heck I can say in front of my wife.
Yep.
It's not disrespectful to my wife, okay, and I still want to be cool. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, a lot of us like are afraid of that awkward silence that may happen.
That's right.
Okay, but Bill's not. Okay, so like you just say it and then you just let it sit there and then just let it fester for a little bit and then don't say a word. It's like all of a sudden the game becomes like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say it.
And do this. This takes a while. Takes a while. When you do a close like that, you look right at his right eye and don't blink. Jeremy, if I'm looking right at your right eye, you know I am. And I'm waiting for you to make your next move. And he's going to look down or away, it's over. Start pulling out the application. And you say it without being a smart butt. Just, dude, you're protecting your car. You're not going to leave your car for a day without coverage. You're going to leave your life without coverage for 6 weeks. You know how long it takes somebody to shop for something like this? They're not going to shop. You know how many people actually shop me after I've done that? None. I don't want anybody else coming out like that. I'm done. Yeah, what is that? Just give me a second. 9-year-old. Work with me.
Alright, so like, you see this thing?
Those are stick people.
That's a family. They're skinny.
Okay. He's trying to stick people, huh? Okay.
So like, alright, so like, again, it's like one of the ones you see that's coming. Okay, like this is like, here's one that you can use, but this doesn't work. Like, you can't insult them. Okay, like one of the things like where Bill's walking right on that line is insulting the individual. Okay, so you might not be able to be that tight. Okay, with being on a walking line. The person starts getting some hesitation. He's going just along the lines of what Bill says. You ask a question like, hey, you know what? I sat down with a young couple the other day. They didn't get it. Not like you guys. Okay. But I sat down with a young couple the other day, and they and like this is like you can't afford it, can't do anything, one of these things. You know, they can. I look over, okay, they got a real like 60-inch high definition TV. I said, how many channels you got? He said like 500. I was like, yeah, high definition. He's like, oh yeah. Well, how much you spend a month? He's like $150. I was like, that's crazy. And here's what I showed them. I asked them this question, okay, and I said, if you could rank these at home, automobile, and your family, what would be the most important one, okay? And everybody says family, and I said, what's second? They say home, okay, and I go, what's third? They say car. See, then you ask them a question. Let me ask you a question. You got homeowners insurance, your house burns down tomorrow, are you covered? Yeah. Why? Is that because the bank makes you do it? Yeah, bank makes me do it. Okay, good. So this automobile insurance, okay, now let me make sure I got this right. If you run over my kid, am I covered?
Depends on what state you're in, but yeah.
Yeah, you Michigan people are crazy.
Yeah.
Ohio, okay. Don't even go there.
Yeah.
Okay, but in the state of Ohio, okay, yeah, so if you run over my kid, I mean, you got insurance for that,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Because the state makes you do it?
Yeah.
So the state makes you insure my kid.
Right.
Okay? So let me ask you a question here. This one that we're talking about, if something happened to you tonight, okay, are your kids as good as covered as they possibly could be?
No.
See, because this is the most important thing that we're talking about. And a lot of families, they look at this and they say, and they don't do this one, even though it's the most important, because nobody makes them do it. That's that one family showed me. But when I showed them this, they all made sense. But they weren't as smart as you guys. So which one worked better for you all? This one price or this price?
Yeah.
Okay, but don't, when you, a lot of people like get like mad at somebody, okay? A good way to do that is like, it's not you, okay? But I saw somebody else last week I sat down with, okay, who did bop, 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 bop. It's a much easier way to transition into like getting your point across without saying like, that girl, you spent $150 on cable, give some up for your family.
Yeah.
It don't work too well.
Let them figure it out.
Right. It's just talking about, you know, I mean, another third person type deal. Why is the same people got the same
Yeah,
questions?
somebody else.
Somebody got like, oh, they keep this thing.
I'm not doing my.
You keep asking questions too. Yeah, these new.
That's crazy.
Been seeing some older folks, and I've been getting, I gotta talk to my son.
Good mother. Oh. Right down in there. So, but let's make sure we got the question right. So, how old is this individual? Because I'm gonna make sure. First of all, who's your name? Whose team you on? Whose name is team you on?
Ron Dessenberg, I'm the Randy Bora, Tom Brown.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so now the person's 70-some years of age.
Yes,
Okay, and you booked your own appointments.
yes.
Okay. Do you ask questions like, should there be anybody else? I mean, this is a repetitive thing that happens for you over and over again. Maybe you should ask questions, okay, like, so, should there be anybody there that's with us? I mean, who are you gonna make as a beneficiary of this thing? You know what I mean? If we do this thing, who are you gonna make as a beneficiary? Is there anybody else that should know about this? Yeah, I think my son should know about it. Great. Now, if he can be here, no, he lives in blah, 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 blah. Great. Can we make sure he's on the telephone when I'm there? Is that gonna be possible? And you just set it up at the beginning. So you overcome the objection by never having the objection.
This is something recently, so all of a sudden this popped up. Maybe it's because I've been seeing older people, and I never thought about asking that.
Yeah, and here's, and I know I'm just keep talking, sorry.
And I'm thinking that, you know, it'd be more final expense, I'm gonna be running into it.
Okay, like here's the close I'm using that one, okay? If I'm stuck, I'm in a position that I didn't see it coming, okay? It's like, hey, so listen, you raise your kids pretty good, right? Yes, no?
Oh yeah, they're good kids.
They're not greedy?
No, they're not.
Okay. So if I called them up right now and would they want to make money upon your death?
No, that's
No.
not something.
No. So we know their answer is going to be like, don't do this. That's their answer already. Okay? But do you want to give that to your children?
Yes.
Okay. So which one do you want? You see, I've already just eliminated by saying the kid's going to say no. You raise them good, they're going to say no. Now it's no longer a question. Does that make sense? Is that a question answer? Is that good?
Yeah.
Run into a couple of people, Eric Vergil, personal Sean Owen, Jordan Soper, Bill Martin. Run into a couple of people recently that have had policies in place that are getting ready to expire or they're getting ready to adjust in the rate, and now they are doing a little bit of shopping. Handle that. You know, getting down to the end of the deal, and you know the Foresters is looking a little bit better than the other one, but they still want to drag their feet a little bit. How would you go about getting that?
Why do they want to drag their feet? You're in the home, or?
Correct.
Okay, and what's the reason that they're dragging their feet? I mean, when you say that, what does
They
that mean?
just want to keep thinking, they want to check back, and they want to double check with their guy. That's why you're shopping your guy.
Okay, so it's a shopping clause, right? They're
Correct.
shopping you, or they're waiting on like their policy they already have in place.
Correct. They filled out, and why'd you fill out the lead? Well, we just want to get you more information, find out what else is out there. We got this AARP over here, break down the policy, go through the policy, know that it does, you know that what we have to offer is better than what they already have. Now they're just dragging their feet.
Well, the first one is to get off the table right away. I mean, just start eliminating stuff, compartmentalizing different things. So the first part of it is they already have coverage, so they're thinking, well, you know, I'm paying $30 a month, and your program's, you know, $120. Well, you got it 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Well, my question is, you know, okay, do you want a 6-month term, or do you want maybe a 20-year term since you have a 20-year mortgage? Well, which one would you want? Well, you know, I want to get a 20-year term. Well, when's the best time to get coverage? When you're healthy, right? So just getting that right off the table immediately. So we're not even talking about that. We're now looking for coverage while you're healthy, all right? And then the other one's just the shopping clothes that he just talked about. It's like, okay, we gotta get you, qualified first, and then just do the shopping clothes and close it.
I asked a question like, so you're thinking about, so you had life insurance, and you're thinking about getting some more life insurance? Yes?
It's terms coming up on the term
Right,
policy.
so you're thinking about getting more life insurance, right? Okay, good. So when we're done with this one, we'll talk about that. See, I just immediately take it off the table. It's just not up for discussion. It's not what we're here to talk about.
Person's making about 30 grand a year, and their premium is about 250 bucks a month. Would you continue doing that with them, or just try to talk them down?
They want to spend $250 a month?
They want to spend 200 bucks. But to avoid cancellation, you know they only make about 25, 30 grand a year.
You know that they only are telling you legally that they're making $30,000 a year. They want to pay with cash. They're probably doing something else. I mean, any of y'all want to answer that?
I would try to at least get a little bit more information. If they're hardcore on it, what are you going to do? But that doesn't add up to me. I mean, and I'm not going to sit here and do their financial counseling necessarily, but I certainly will get. I mean, I've gotten right down and dirty with people's budgets. That hey, here's how much I take in. Here's what I spend here. Find out where we're at. Somebody's telling me why I can't afford anything. I go through a budget with them. And I've been in houses. They have $62 left a month for emergencies. And they only make $600. There's not much I can do there. There's nothing left over.
I will tell you that this is, I mean, if I had to talk about this thing, okay, now, one thing that when I'm going through the budget, if I do that little budget thing, okay, a lot of people, they think like here's their bills. Here's the first bill, here's the second bill, here's the third bill. They would think like this would be the home, this would be like their house payment. That would be like their most important bill, okay? Because that's their asset, right? You all know that, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, liability, okay? So like, and then what they're doing, they got all these other bills, and they're thinking about adding this bill here. You see, I got a problem with that. See, because if this is what the most important thing of what we're talking about, this bill ain't here, it's here, bro. If not here. See, because if the idea is that, well, if something happens to you, you're going to lose your house, is that not just as important as paying your house payment? So it's like it goes along, it goes hand in hand with this thing. It's not like, a lot of people think that they're adding this thing on here. That's not true. It's got to be here.
Yeah.
It's in the beginning of the bill. It's not an add-on to the bill. Yeah. If they ain't got enough money left in the month, then they got to figure out cut something else out.
You share that in the house? Have you ever done that?
Oh yeah, but that was them. It's somebody else I sat down with a little bit ago.
Right. Like a third party.
Right, yeah, because like they can't, like if they sound like, I don't know if I can afford this. I go, you know what? I actually have talked to somebody the other day about this. Okay, and let me tell you what they thought. They thought they should add this bill on. Not you didn't. You know what I mean? I know you're smart. You're smart with that.
It's not a convenience thing. In your mind, it can't be a convenience thing. You got to convey it to them. It's not a. This is not convenience. This is it. You got to put this in place. Bottom line.
Yeah, Steve Park, Director of our Kyle, part of the Bill Martin Agency. How can you create urgency for the mortgage protection when the person's thoroughly convinced they already have decent full life protection that they've already got in place?
Why'd they send the form? That's what I'm going to ask.
I want to see prices. Already went through what's going to happen.
You enjoy sitting down with strangers in your house?
Yeah, why?
I'm just trying to figure this thing out because there is something here that I don't understand.
Well, I just thought if I get the right price, it might be worth it.
Do you think you like the idea of this whole life thing? You paying more money? Do you like that idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm with you.
I'm not going to spend over $20-30.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Doesn't make any sense.
You want me to show you what you get for $20-30? All right.
It's just not enough coverage. I don't see it. That's not worth it.
Right,
why would I spend $20 for $20,000, $30,000, or $30 for? Why would I spend? Why would I do it?
I don't know. Why would you?
I'm not.
Right. So because like 30,000 is not that much, right?
No, not really. I already got 60.
Cool. So you got 60,000 and 30,000 is not that much. So you mind if I get $100? 30,000 ain't that big of a deal. I mean.